My beloved Madridistas, welcome back to Madrid and welcome back to the channel. Okay, sorry it took so long to make this. Last night I was just really kind of down and out. Didn't have it in me to make a video. Now, I do want to give you guys my thoughts on the match yesterday and all of the things that we need to discuss that are so wrong with the squad and look so difficult to fix. Now, one thing I want to say before I get started is, to make sure you guys don't think I'm totally crazy, look, I am very well aware of all of the problems that are taking place around the world. There are horrible things happening. There are millions of people in harm's way in so many countries around the world and in occupied territories. And my heart goes out to people that are facing danger every single day in their lives. And, you know, we need to relativize stuff. And yes, last night I was really depressed. I didn't want to make a video, but I don't want you to think I'm completely insane. I mean, I am well aware that, you know, we need to put things into context. We're only talking about sports here. We do need to relativize things. And I just want to make you guys aware that yes, I was very depressed. I didn't feel like making a video last night, but I'm not completely insane. I do understand that there are far graver problems in the world, and I'm very, very well aware of that. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But okay, let's talk about last night. Let me just tell you guys, okay, the evening started like this. Okay, you have the anthem and very good vibes. It's always really exciting when the team comes on the pitch. You know, the vibe is very positive. Okay, by halftime, it felt like this. Okay, not great, a lot of doubts. And then by the end of the match, it felt like this. Okay, and Real Madrid was very quick to turn that anthem on very loud to make sure that a lot of the people chanting things were drowned out. But this is the state that we are in, and this is in terms of the global problems in the world, this is a minor matter. But I do have to say that I was just so disappointed and so disheartened last night to see Real Madrid in this state. I can tell you guys that this is probably as bad as I've seen Real Madrid in the last 20 years. The disappointment is very deeply rooted because this is a team that does not have, it's not a recognizable Real Madrid side. This is a team that does not have the Real Madrid DNA, the energy to fight, to believe, to never give up, to always play at 100%. Like that, you know, matches like the one last night historically have been totally routine. And the only things that we ever worried about is how many goals are we going to put past them? And we are in uncharted waters here. I mean, I don't remember anything like this since probably sort of 05, 06, you know, that kind of period back then where I felt equally frustrated. But it's been a very long time since I have seen Real Madrid in such a shambles. Now, this is obviously not just about the manager. This is clearly not just about the manager. I'm sure it has something to do with it, but we cannot attribute the blame to the manager. Look, we got rid of Xavi. He had 7 months to try to get it right. He couldn't get it right. I advocated for him to leave because I thought he was part of the problem. Arbeloa takes over. It looks like we have a sort of rebound in terms of morale and in terms of a slight improvement in play. And then all of a sudden, everything goes to hell. So this is not just about the manager. This is about everything. It's about management. It's about the players. We have a group of players that individually, on paper, are talented, but for some reason we cannot get these pieces to fit. Now, there are so many things to enumerate that are wrong. We had a chance during the winter window. Management had a chance to reinforce our defense. And we knew all the problems we were having with Rudiger and injuries. We knew about Militao. We knew about Alaba. We knew that even Hausen, who had just arrived, constantly had these little lingering injuries here and there. We knew all of this, and we had a window to fix it, and we didn't. And that is the fault of management. And I know that traditionally Real Madrid doesn't like to use the winter window. I don't care. When the circumstances change, you need to change your policy. Okay, and this idea that, oh no, forget it, we ignore the winter window. Why? Why? When you can clearly see that we were in need of reinforcements, especially in the defensive line, with the plethora of injuries that we've endured. We need to question our recruitment policy. We need to have a very serious conversation about why we bring the players that we bring. And I'm sick I've explained this so many times that the players that Real Madrid brought in the last 2-3 years were players that were brought for motivations other than purely tactical football reasons. We bring people because they're young and they can be sold for more in the future, because we want to capture young talent and hoard it, because we don't want the next Messi or Lamine to get away. We bring players like Kylian, who are franchise players that we're obsessed with. Even if they don't fit in the squad, we just have to bring them and make them somehow fit. Like, we need to question our recruitment policy, and we need to get back to basics. The only players that should come to this club are the players that we need in positions that need to be reinforced, and we need to get the very best of the best in those positions. Not what we've done. We have created gaps in our squad, and we have created massive duplication problems in our squad, where players are having to play out of position because we brought too many players that play the same position, because we weren't thinking about the squad, we were thinking about everything else. Now, our problems are absolutely self-inflicted. We have nobody else to blame except ourselves, and it starts from management all the way down to the coaching staff, even to the physical training staff, because somebody needs to explain to me what the hell's going on with the injuries in this squad, and all the way down to the players and their attitude and their inability to gel and inability to perform at a level that we consider Real Madrid standard. In terms of the match itself, look, there's no point going minute by minute. I'm just going to identify all of the things that are clearly wrong that we saw last night, that we've been seeing repeatedly during the course of this year. Number one, this is a team that can only attack on the left. Do you think it is normal that a football club, a Real Madrid stature, the greatest club in the world, the most successful football club in history, that we can only attack on the left, that our only attack is giving the ball to Vini and hoping that he can get past 5 defenders every single time? Okay, number two, there's nothing on the right. How can we have nothing on the right? How is it possible that we are incapable of putting together a constructive attack on the right? Because Fede is a wonderful player and he can make amazing runs on the right, but when he gets up to the opposing box, he's not going to take a defender on and try to get in the box. He's not going to dribble. That's not the kind of player that he is. He's going to pass the ball back to the middle or back, and we're going to have to start over. We just do not have the ability to create danger on the right. Rodrigo was injured. He finally comes on. It looks like he's injured again. And by the way, Mastantuono, and I was very harsh with him last night in the short I put out, and I didn't mean to be mean or anything like that, and it's certainly not personal, but Mastantuono is turning out to be a disaster. Every time this kid gets the ball, he loses it. Every single time. It's like automatically he cuts to the inside, and he tries to dribble past 5 defenders, and he loses the ball every time, and his decision-making is terribly poor. Before Mastantuono should not be our first choice as a substitute on the right. Try Rodrigo first, or try Brahim. These are players that can take defenders on and create sort of 1v1 danger on the right wing, and they can penetrate a low block because they have the technical skill to do so. Mastantuono is not able to do that, and we're making a mistake. How on earth do you bring Mastantuono out before Brahim? Before Rodrigo? I mean, that's inconceivable to me. But we have a problem on the right. Now it appears that Rodrigo is injured. But I still think Brahim would be a much better solution on the right than Mastantuono. And I'm really sorry to say it, and it's nothing personal. Number 3. We are a positional disaster. Our players on the pitch look confused. They look like they don't know where to go and where to be, and nothing looks natural. These players look like they're searching where they're supposed to be. There is nothing automatic in our play. I don't see any consistency in our style of play. These players look confused, and they look like they don't know what to do, and that comes down to the coach and the coaching staff. We are totally, here's number 4. We are completely incapable of breaking a low block. I mean, this is Getafe. Okay, we know that they're scummy and scrappy, and they every trick in the book, right? They waste time, they poke you, they spit on you, they step on you. They are a pain in the ass, and we've always known this, but we should be able to deal with this. And don't tell me that we're incapable of opening up Getafe's low block. I mean, this is ridiculous. How is it that hard to break through a low block? Even the most modest teams in the world, we can't seem to break through a low block because it requires quick ball movement. It requires quick passing. It requires 1-2s. It requires quick 1-2s with people making runs into the box behind the defenders. It requires speed of thought, speed of execution, and we're not doing it. We're incapable of cracking through a low block, even the low block of the most modest teams in Spain. Okay, number 5. Whenever we counter, we're a one-trick pony. We're a one-trick pony. It's long ball to Vini and pray. And this seems to be the only counterattacking concept that we have, and it's not working. Our counters are absolutely terrible. We're a one-trick pony. We only have one threat, which is a long ball to Vini on the left, and you cannot win matches when you're playing such limited football. Number 6, our ball circulation is so slow and so predictable. How are you going to get through a low block when you're moving the ball so slowly, when no one's moving off the ball? You're not going to surprise anybody. You need to circulate the ball with a lot of speed. You need a lot of movement off the ball. You need to play very aggressively, very quickly, and try to get behind defenders. But that requires speed and concentration and quick combinations, and we just don't do that because our ball circulation is slow and predictable. Number 7, our transitions, our offensive transitions, are either too slow or they're understaffed. Okay, so either we do it too slowly, in which case it's a waste of time because the other team has plenty of time to get into defensive position, or when we do it quickly, we're understaffed because only 1 or 2 players are doing the running, and in the second line of players is way too far back and they're walking. So our transitions offensively are either too slow or they're understaffed, which makes them completely ineffective. And Real Madrid has always been the best counterattacking team in the world, and I'm not seeing any of that, and I haven't seen it for a couple of years now. Number 8, there is a constant problem. There's a constant absence of a number 9 in the box, even when Kylian is on the pitch. Even when Kylian is on the pitch, we have a serious problem with somebody finishing our plays in the... How many balls have we seen on the wing go into the box and there's no one there to finish the play? Even when Kylian plays, because he drifts out to the left and to the right and he wants to touch the ball in the middle of the pitch. And then when you need him in the box, he's not there. This is a problem. We need a number 9 that can play the number 9 position and be where a number 9 should be. And all those balls that trickle into the box need somebody to finish them. And right now, it's empty. There's nobody there. Okay, number 9, I have the permanent sensation that our players individually are incredibly talented, but they don't know how to play together. I mean, it is inexplicable to me. I mean, player by player, these guys are really, really good. But I just have never had the sense that they know how to play together. And this has to come down to the coaching staff. And by the way, yes, we can blame Florentino for the recruitment. We can blame the players because, they're dozy or lazy or they lose the ball or they suck or they don't play with intensity. But there is also a factor here that belongs to the coaches. If you have this much talent and you can't get them to play together, we have to blame the coaches as well. So nobody is off the hook here. Number 10. Our press is totally random and totally ineffective, okay? When we press, it's ridiculous. Like 3 guys run, the other 3 are staring at the sky, the other one is not even, if you're going to press, everybody has to do it and it has to look coordinated and there has to be a master plan. Well, our press is totally random and totally ineffective. And what you get when you don't press collectively, what you get is that the few players that are pressing get exhausted. But they can't recover the ball because not everybody is pressing, so there's always an outlet ball. So you have 3 or 4 players that are trying to press. They get completely exhausted because nobody else is helping, and that's what you end up with, injuries and tired players. And the one thing you don't end up with is recovering the goddamn ball. Okay? Our press is awful, ineffective, random, and totally disjointed. Number 11, the flip side of the same coin. We are so vulnerable to pressure on the ball. Why are we so vulnerable? We have so much skill. Our players are so technical. Why do we cough up the ball so easily when we're pressed a little bit? Like, we should be able to play through pressure, but we really struggle to play through pressure. And by the way, when we're not losing the ball because we're being pressed and we can't handle the pressure, we're giving it up because of stupid passing. Like, I've seen players completely unmarked, everybody's alone, a 10-meter pass, and you give it to the Getafe player. Like, some of the ball losses are completely inexplicable. So it takes... we are very vulnerable under pressure, and even when we're not under pressure, we lose the ball too easily because we're so imprecise in our passing. Okay, number 12. And this relates back to the transition play. It takes way too long for us to play the ball out of the back. Now, even when you're not going to counter because you're being pressed high and you're working on, and you don't want to boot it, you don't want to give up possession, you don't want Courtois to boot it, so you're going to try to play it out of the back and move the lines up slowly. Even when we try to do that, it's so slow. It takes so long. Like, how long does it take to get the ball from here to there? Just because there's a marginal high press, we're very ineffective bringing the ball out of the back. We end up having to boot it, lose possession. We never recover the second balls because when you boot the ball long, there is a rebound, and you need to at least get that second ball. If you can't control the first one, you need to recover the second one. Well, we're doing neither. Okay, we're neither catching the ball to whoever's making the run up front, Vini, 99% of the time. But when that rebound comes, our second line isn't picking up the ball. So we are just totally unable to take the ball out of the back. We end up booting it, losing possession, a disaster. Number 13, very related. When we do go long, it's always very imprecise. It has been in the last few matches, very imprecise, and it's always one player v4. So if we do get that long ball into the boots of Vini, typically, or Kylian when he's around, or Gonzalo, if he does get a ball on the right, it's always 1v4. Every player up there seems totally isolated. They never seem to have any support short, and so we end up having to wait. By the time the second line comes up, the other team has placed themselves defensively, and the play is over, and the danger is over. So these are glaring weaknesses in our play that are compounded by a lack of winning attitude and a lack of winning DNA and a lack of leadership on the pitch. So you're talking about fundamental tactical weaknesses in our play combined with a weak attitude and a lack of leadership. And that combination is nuclear, and it's killing us. Okay, look, I was very encouraged to see Thiago Pitart yesterday, and I'm always very happy to see kids come up from Castilla. I think that the kid actually did really well. I mean, all things considered, it's like the pressure is enormous when you're starting for the first team. I mean, the shirt must weigh a ton, but the kid ran a lot. I thought he contributed a lot, and he was certainly one of the more active and hungrier players. And I need to give Thiago a lot of credit for that match. But we cannot expect these youngsters to save the day. What are you going to expect the kids from Castilla to come and save the day and rescue this disaster? It's a little bit unfair. I'm happy that they're getting minutes, but there's no way in hell that this is a solution to our problems. Okay, this team lacks leadership. We know that. It lacks a consistent style of play. We've mentioned that many, many times. And what makes me absolutely livid is that every time I watch football from it doesn't even matter what league. I watch the Serie A or the Liga, or I'll watch the EPL. Everywhere, it seems to me, every team in the world plays better collective football than we do. I just don't understand it. I'll watch any club, anywhere, and I watch the two teams play, and I go, wow, these are two teams that kind of know what they're doing. Everybody I watch seems to play better collective football than we do. We're the only team that I see that is completely lost, that has no structure and kind of no identity, no football identity at all. It's incredibly frustrating. If we talk about individual players, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, Hausen has been very disappointing. This kid started really well. His long passes when he first arrived, I thought were a fantastic tool. He has these long, low balls. He likes to keep the ball on the pitch, and he makes these long kind of looking for a diagonal run. And some of those were really effective when he first started. I don't know what's happened to Hausen's passing, but it's just terrible. It's like his passing has it's awful lately, and we're losing so many balls that seem so simple. Alaba, what do you want me to say? I mean, he's coming from all the injuries and his age. This is not the answer to our defensive problems going forward. Rudiger, again, consistent injuries, and he's no spring chicken. He's very experienced, and I love Rudiger. But again, you know, these are players that are prone to injuries. They're prone to fatigue. Like we need to reinforce the defensive line. This summer, we absolutely need to reinforce. We need, at the very minimum, one more center back. At a minimum, one, maybe two. Okay, Trent, what do you want me to say? Like, look, he does bring a lot in terms of his long passing and his distribution, but it's just not enough, because Carvajal played a few minutes last night, and there were a couple of runs where he looked slow to me. And I love Carvajal. He's a living legend. The man has 6 European Cups. Like, the guy walks on water, okay? He's a legend, and we love him. And I love his attitude and his character and everything he's done for the club. And I will love him for all eternity. But Carvajal is not what he used to be. He's a 32-year-old who didn't play for a year because he had the worst knee injury you could possibly get. And now he's come back, and he's lost a little bit of speed, and we cannot expect Carvajal to be the answer. We need a backup to Trent, and I think we need to bring another right back to help in that position as well. We need to go shopping on a massive scale. Carreras has been pretty consistent. I think overall, I think he's a good player, and I think he's a good left back, and he has been pretty consistent. But it's not enough, because if something happens to Carreras, and things happen because we get a lot of cards in La Liga and there's injuries and all that stuff, Fran isn't going to cut it. Fran is just not, I don't think that Fran is going to cut it. I think we need another highly competitive left back of at least the same quality of Carreras, and we need to bring him and make sure that our defensive line is not going to have any soft spots next season, because right now our defense is a disaster. Now, in the midfield, somebody explained to me how all of these talented players are incapable of playing together. Like, explain it to me. Look, Fede is an amazing box-to-box player. He is. He recovers balls, he runs, he defends, he makes incredible progressive carries. The guy is like, he never gets injured, he never gets tired, he like gives 110%. He covers like, I don't know how many millions of kilometers per match. He's an amazing boxer, but you cannot question the Fede's quality. Okay, Tchouaméni is a very, very good defensive pivot. He has his limitations. He's never going to distribute the ball like Toni Kroos. He's never going to do that stuff, okay? He's going to play in a smaller range of play because that's the way he is. His progressive carries will be shorter. His passes will be shorter. He'll tend to play he'll play short. It's very unlikely that he's going to try some, crazy diagonal pass. It's not really his style of play. But he's a very good defensive pivot and has been playing individually, I think, fairly consistently. So he's a good player too. Okay, Arda is a wonderful player. Camavinga is a really, really good player with incredible athleticism and great steals balls. Arda is just fantastic, incredibly technical. He can make great passes. These guys are good. Jude is an extraordinary talent, technically amazing player, technically unbelievably gifted. Why can't they play together? Why do we have no midfield? We have plenty of talent. How can these players not give us proper football? They have talent. This is, again, some of this has to be down to the coaching. And okay, maybe we need a more dynamic playmaker. Maybe, I don't know, you're kind of Vitinha. Everybody, it's everybody's wet dream. We're not going to get Vitinha. PSG's never going to let him go. Maybe we need a little more, like a more dynamic playmaker. Like, okay, fair enough. But if you just look at the quality of the players we have, they've got to give us more than this. So again, who does that come down to? I don't know. Maybe the players' attitudes, but definitely the coaches. So that is another inexplicable thing to me. Another inexplicable crisis. Okay, Kylian is an excellent player. We all know he's wonderful. He's just so lightning quick, finishes like a demon. He's an amazing player. But he just is not a natural number 9. I'm sorry, he roams around too much, okay? Because Kylian is not going to wait in the box for his chance to put it in the back of the net. He's not. If Kylian doesn't touch the ball often enough, he gets itchy feet. He starts to get really itchy and antsy, and then he'll drift to the wing because he's got to touch the ball. God forbid 2 minutes go by without Kylian touching the ball, so he's got to touch the ball. He'll go to the left, he'll go to the right, or he'll go back 30 meters all the way to the center of the pitch just to touch it a couple of times and get past someone, dribble. And okay, but then what happens when you do this is that when the ball finally gets up and the ball gets into the box, where's your number 9? then we're missing a number 9 to finish the plays. And even when we play Gonzalo, he doesn't seem to be in the box, okay? He seems to be on the right because we're playing him as a winger. And no, the guy should be in. So we are missing a natural number 9. It's very obvious in our play. And Kylian is a fantastic player, and I think he's wonderful, but he's playing the 9 position, but he's not playing it like a number 9, okay? He's playing it like I don't know, it's a new invention. It's the roaming 9, okay? He's playing a roaming 9. I'm technically a number 9. I'm in the middle, but no. I'm going to roam around everywhere because I need to touch the ball and dribble past people because that's what I do. So we have a problem in the number 9 position, and the box is always empty, and we're not finishing plays. Okay, Vini. What can I say? The guy tries his best, and last night I give Vini a lot of credit because he worked so hard. He was just tireless. He tried over and over and over, and I felt bad for him. It felt like the entire responsibility of the entire squad was on Vini's shoulder and on his shoulders. And look, he had a glaring miss that was crazy. I mean, we all thought that ball was in, that he should have scored, but he did try his best, and he was probably our only threat offensively. But you cannot put everything on Vini's shoulders. This is not viable football. So Vini on his own, it can't be Vini V4 every single play. So there is a problem there as well. The right-hand side, like I say, still feels vacant to me. We need Rodrigo to come back. We need Brahim in that position. We need to balance our attack a lot more. Mastantuono, I think, should go on loan. And this is nothing personal, but I think he should go on loan. His decision-making, he's very gifted, very talented, but his decision-making is poor. He needs to know when to circulate the ball and when to take people on. He seems to take people on all the time, and it never seems to work. And every time he does it, I want to pull my own hair out. So we have an issue on the right. Now it looks like Rodrigo is injured again. And by the way, this leads into another problem. What is this injury situation? We have a perennial problem with injuries, unlike any other club. I don't know any other club that has so many persistent injuries, and they're never like mild, right? It's never like a sprained ankle. It's always like some horrendous knee injury or some horrendous like thigh tear, that takes months to come back from. Like, what is the deal with our technical team? And I know that Pintus has just taken over again, and hopefully he can turn things around, because I mean, the last 2 years, I've just never seen anything like it. Look, the match against Celta, on Friday, it's going to be a mess. Okay, there's going to be no Rodrigo because apparently he's injured. But it's going to be a mess. Who else is going to play? Because Alaba won't be available, Carreras won't be available, Hausen and Mastantuono because of cards. I mean, this is a complete disaster. I'll end up defending, in Vigo against Celta, because I don't know who the hell else is going to do it. We're probably going to have to use Tchouaméni in that position. It's just a disaster. Look, this club needs a manager with pedigree that the players will listen to and obey. And by the way, it needs to be a manager that has the full and unconditional support of management. Because if you remember the little Vini and Xavi incident where Vini had a little hissy fit, and it was kind of a confrontation between Xavi and Vini, I have the impression that management backed Vini. And I think that's a mistake. Because when there is a discussion between a coach and a player, the person that you always back is the coach. Okay, because the player's job is to do what he's told and to listen to his manager. And call me old school, but I believe in hierarchy, and I believe in respecting the line of authority that exists. Okay, there are ranks, and it is your job to know when to lower your head and be respectful and follow orders. And management should have backed Xavi, and Xavi should have had the power to sit Vini the next match and make it absolutely clear to him that there will be no such gestures going forward, and that he is in charge. Well, management didn't give Xavi that authority. They undermined his authority, and that made it all the more difficult to manage a group of players that already seem extremely difficult to manage. So we have an enormous amount of problems to fix. It's almost hard to know where to begin, because it just feels like you want to burn everything down and start from scratch, because there are that many problems. And now we have to face a team like Man City, Okay, this is a proper team. Okay, these guys, this is a proper team. Okay, they have power, they have muscle, they have technique, they have speed, they're tactical, and they come from the EPL, they're physical. Like these guys, this is a proper team, and I am absolutely dreading this, because if we don't play at 120%, we have no chance of even putting on a brave fight against these guys. So this is a low point in our history, I'm telling you, in the last 20 years, and we need to act very aggressively this summer. Stop messing around. No holy grails. I don't want any sacred cows. If we need to get rid of big ticket players, get rid of them. If we need to rebuild somewhere, we need to rebuild. And we need to start over. We need to start thinking about balance in football. Okay, and bringing players that fit, that have a role that is clearly defined. And we need to go shopping this summer, because we have a lot of problems to fix. My biggest fear, which I will share with all of you, is that this is the second year in a row that we might end up winning absolutely nothing. And Madridistas, we're not used to this. This is not where we come from. This is not what we're used to. But we run the risk. If you let this go on for 1 or 2 more years, we run the risk of becoming Milan, AC Milan, or we run the risk of becoming Man United. And this is my greatest fear, because Milan, if you guys are old enough to have seen the Milan from the late 80s to like the early 90s, it was insane. It was insane. Milan was just a powerhouse. They were just unbelievable. Saki's Milan reinvented football. They reinvented the high defensive line. These guys were unbelievable. It was the first team that combined power and technique in the most unbelievable way you've ever seen. Marco van Basten, one of my favorite strikers of all time. You've never seen such elegance in your life. Gullit, Rijkaard. This was just an unbelievable squad. Well, look what happened to Milan since. Look what happened to Milan since. Who's AC Milan today? And look at Man United, okay, under Alex Ferguson, like a lot of success. They were a little bit unlucky in that they had to run into the amazing Barca of Xavi and Iniesta and Messi. They ran into one of the greatest sides in the history of the sport and lost 2 finals. But what a legacy that was. They won the Premier League so many times, the FA Cup so many times. They did win the Champions League in '99. This was a powerhouse. And look where Man United is today. They're starting to come back, but it's been, 10, 15 years since they were anything at all? This is my greatest fear, and I just absolutely cannot handle the thought of turning into, oh yeah, these guys used to be really good, but now they've been crap for 15 years. That is my biggest worry, and we have to do something to fix that. And I am really concerned that what is going to happen when Florentino leaves? A lot of the problems that we have today are Florentino's fault, and we all need to admit that. And I love the guy, don't get me wrong, he's the best president I think we've ever had, and he's done incredible things. But, he is responsible for many of the mistakes that I've just discussed. But I am worried about what comes next, because whether you like it or not, Florentino Perez is a very intelligent man. His intention is always, his heart's in the right place. He always tries to do the best thing for the club. He's a guy that lent 40 million euros of his own money, like in the late 80s. I mean, in the early 90s, like back when 40 million euros was a lot more than it is today, of his own money, to make sure that the club didn't go into bankruptcy. This is a man that loves Real Madrid. This is his baby. Okay, he's a shareholder. He's a multi-billionaire. He doesn't need money. He runs one of the biggest contracting companies in the world. He's a brilliant guy. His baby, his passion, the love of his life is Real Madrid. And we know that he's always had the best intentions in mind when it comes to the club, and that he'll always try to modernize it and will always have the best of the best. What comes after Florentino? I don't know. Okay, it could be somebody good, Jose Angel Sanchez. It could be somebody professional and dignified, and somebody that will continue to run the club professionally. Or are we going to get, I don't know, some scumbag who's going to start doing shady stuff to enrich himself? And like, I'm very worried about what happens after Florentino Perez, because, like I say, we don't know what the succession will look like, and we have a huge amount of problems to fix. Okay, that was a lot. I had to get all that off my chest. I'm really sorry I couldn't get this out earlier, but I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section. And look, nobody has a crystal ball. I'm not, I could be wrong about a lot of the things I say, but in my opinion, based on what I observe, these are the long laundry list of very, very fundamental weaknesses that we have as a squad that need to be corrected and need to be fixed this summer, or we run the risk of losing the momentum that we've built over the last 10, 15 years. Okay, those are my thoughts. I'm going to leave it here. Just to let you guys know, tomorrow I'll be on Dali's channel, Dali FC. He's invited me on, so I'll be having a chat with him tomorrow if you guys want to join us for that. But anyway, I love you guys. Sorry this took so long. I love you, but as always and forever, a la Madrid.